Well, hello there, everyone. Well, it looks like... Oh, there are two people now. Now I can say everyone. I guess it still would have been accurate with one person, though. But yes, today we're going to work on the jungle. Mostly adding some clearings so that it's not entirely dense jungle. Other than that, if we have some time left over after that, I think we're going to improve the draw distance of some of the plants in the jungle. It's going to take a little experimentation. And hello there. How are you today? I did want to look to... I've been trying to cut down on storage space of the game. So I wanted to see if I could cut these down anymore. These are some of the bigger trees in terms of storage space in the game, so see what we can do. Probably anything under this isn't really going to be worth it. Let's see. Curious how much it'll affect it if I drop it to 30%. Yeah, that doesn't sound so fun. I was rushing around right before the video because I stupidly was like, oh, I definitely have time to go pick up some food. But, you know, my city is extremely busy. So I went and did that. But I made it back like 5 minutes before the stream. Good times. So what I'm doing right now, you can control how many triangles of the source mesh that Nanite keeps in the compiled game. And it's quite a bit better than actually decimating the model, because it has much less effect on the visuals. So I'm reducing some of these that don't need to be quite as high, just so we can save a little disk space. Go down a little further on this one. Yeah, I don't think there's any situation where I'd be like, I'm going to attack this very large creature. It just sounds like a bad idea. Just realized I need to make sure I turned off my equalizer. I did. Excellent. It affects all of the audio from my PC, so it would cause the stream to be a little quieter than I want. I'm a huge audiophile, so I leave that on the rest of the time for my headphones. So I always have to remember to turn it off when I start the streams. This will take just a moment. These trees are originally pretty triangle dense, which is fine for nanite, but when we're trying to save a little storage space, I'd like to cut down on it just a little. Perfect. Looks about the same. Dropped another 10 megabytes. That's something. I'll take it. Just got a couple more to do this too, and then we can actually get to work. So in terms of performance, this isn't going to help anything, but but it will reduce the total size of the game, which is good. With nanite, it matters very little if you have a really high triangle count on something. I would say that it's probably going to be one of the better performing modern jungles you've played in. I might be a little biased, but I'm obsessed with optimization. So I spent years before this learning everything I could about nanite and what works best with it. So I've made sure to use all of that on the map. So you should have a pretty good time. We have a QA team that plays our builds and tests them, and we get performance reports from them. And the results have been really good, even for hardware older than I expected to support. There are just a lot of things to learn about nanite, and understandably a lot of studios haven't yet really gotten to learn a whole lot about it. So many of the times that you see it performing badly in games, it's usually something done incorrectly with nanite, or multiple somethings. Like in, can't remember the names. Oh yeah. The second Remnant game, for example. That one uses nanite, but that is an example of ways not to use it. I haven't seen that. I wonder what they've been doing with it. Before I developed games at all, it was always really important to me for games to be optimized, but of course back then I didn't know exactly what that meant, what that entails. So when I started with environment design and so on, it was very important to me that I learn what I could do so that I could fix the thing I complained about so often. I'm sure I'll never be perfect, but this is probably going to be one of the better optimized games with nanite and lumen that you've played. Oh, but I was going to say the part of the problem is that Epic has some pretty poor documentation for nanite and lumen. So a lot of studios don't know the best practices for using them. And it's just not quite what people think it is, because it's pretty much the opposite of how optimization has been done before these. So it sounds crazy to somebody who's been developing games for 15 years or 20 years and they wouldn't think to do those things. But using older methods like low poly models or masked leaves, for example, it performs very badly with nanite. That's something you'll see pretty commonly. Luckily, this is the last tree. It was probably my PC not being able to keep up. This is originally a pretty triangle dense model, so when I'm reducing it like this, it uses a lot of resources and probably affected my voice. Although I wouldn't turn it down if I could be an alien. Just for the record. But yeah, the main thing we're going to focus on today is opening up some parts of the jungle. I want some of it to still stay dense like a real jungle, but we want some openings too. So once this is done, we can start doing that. We can begin. So I think what we're going to start with... I love these trees. I actually have one that I'm growing, and it just started sprouting aerial roots today. The vine-looking things coming down from the branches. I was very excited to see it. So I think we're going to start with, for these clearings, we're going to cut out all of the trees except for the large fig trees, because I don't want it to be completely bare in those spots. I hear my kids screaming outside. I always wish I had that much energy. That'd be amazing. We'll just start over here and work our way over. I think I'm going to turn down the camera speed a little bit. So I'm thinking probably somewhere over here would be a good spot for the first one. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun in the jungle. It's definitely one of the areas I spend the most time when I'm playing the game. Let's do like right here. So I still want to keep the big fig trees. We'll just cut out a number of the others. And I think we're going to change the ground foliage here, or at least some of it. Yeah, I think here's what we'll do. Let's remove this ground foliage. We're going to paint some new foliage here. Mm. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to spend a lot of time in the jungle once I have more time to actually sit and play the game more than work on it. Let's grab some grass. Some of the taller grass here. See what we've got. Actually, let's look at the double-sided versions. So this is one of those little tricks with nanite that's not very well known yet. You can take smaller plants like this and use double-sided geometry on them instead of a single-sided one with a two-sided material. So then you disable the two-sided material, and it makes them quite a bit cheaper on performance. Let's actually drop this down some more. Because we can. There are some rocks and logs, that kind of thing, but I'm constantly adjusting how many, and also improving collisions from what they start with, so it's a little less disturbing when you run through the jungle. Because I know what you mean, and that was a problem before, but it's something I've improved a lot. Okay, so we're definitely going to use those. I think we'll grab some of these too. And these are all plants that we're already using. But I'm just going to do it a little bit differently right here. I would guess... I'm sure the jungle's going to be one of them. And I think the redwoods is going to be pretty popular. Mainly because it just feels cool being in a foggy place with huge trees and some of the stuff that's going to be there. I don't think we'll use... Oh, actually, we'll use these. Just dropping them down a little bit. But maybe I'm biased because those places are my favorite biomes. But what I'm trying to do is, if I'm not a huge fan of a certain biome, that means I need to focus on it more and make it better. I want to feel pretty equally about all of them. We're going to use these. So what we're doing right now is making a foliage type for each one of these models, which lets me control things like draw distance and how dense they're painted and so on. Oops. Oh no! I'm telling you, I would be able to do so much in a day if I had as much energy as my kids. I hear them out there just screaming their heads off about nothing. Okay, so those are drawing pretty far. Here we go. Just have to make sure I have the right one selected. And let's test out the density a little bit, see what it looks like. That is way too dense. It's a little too little. So I'm going to break some of this up too, but I just want to start with a pretty dense area of grass. And then I'll be replacing some of them with ferns and other plants. I just set it to paint on meshes. I guess that's fine. So we don't want the same plants repeated all over it. So of course we're going to cut that down. Actually, you know what? Let's adjust some of these and then repaint it. Repaint, is that a word? Do like... No, we'll leave that. Okay, let's try these settings out. Maybe change this radius just a little bit. And the scaling so it can mix it up a little bit. Yes! Excellent. Gremlin crab. Wonder what that looks like. We need to make it. Let's find out what it looks like. Yeah, excellent. Okay, so now with this, we're going to cut out some spots where there's less grass. Let's do like 0.7 erase density. Actually more. Or is it the other way around? Yeah, that's what it is. I always forget. So I'm going to thin out some spots. I find this to be a good way to get interesting distribution. Kind of go ham with painting them and then erase them while leaving some. I think you're right. That makes sense to me. Now let's see. That actually might be further than we need on the draw distance, because it looks like we're not so far when you're looking at it in the editor. But my goal is I want to be able to see across the field. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty reasonable. Hoo-hoo-hoo. I'm so jealous. It's been way too long since I rode a bike. Definitely plan to get one though. Probably nothing too crazy since I've never actually owned a bike, I've just ridden them. And I know myself, I'm going to get comfortable eventually, and then I'm going to be like, I should go 150. I'm glad to hear it. So now we're going to throw some other plants in here too. Oh, okay. I've ridden, I don't think it was the 300 that I rode. I don't remember which one it was. But I did ride a Ninja, I just don't remember the size. Maybe some of these ferns. You heard right. Oh yeah. That's why I'm not too concerned about getting a fast one for my first one, because I'm sure one day I'll want to go fast. But right now, I would be too terrified to go that kind of speed. Oops. Set these a bit further on the culling distance, since they're taller, or I think they are. Actually set these to be harvestable. Yeah, that's really all I need. Like, sure, it'd be cool to go fast, but I think I would be too scared to do it. At least right now. You know what? Let's make the sizes range even more. From 1 to 5. Yes, that's cooler. I like it. I'm gonna kind of just paint them randomly in here. So they're actually not bigger than the grass, so I don't need the culling distance to be that far. In fact, we can probably drop it even lower than this. But now let's add something taller to stand out here and there. But I want this to be a place where you could potentially hide from people. Maybe this. Yeah, you have a point. I didn't think about that. Because I've ridden dirt bikes too, and yeah, dirt bikes are pretty light generally. Yeah, I think we'll do some of these. Ever since I started working from home, though, I don't really need my car anymore, so I might just sell the car and just ride a bike. We'll see. I'm still thinking about it. Let me see how big these are. Okay, so these are going to be a bit further on the culling distance. We'll use the taller plants to kind of cover up when the other ones are getting cold. And we'll set this to be harvestable as well. Hindsight is 20/20. Let's adjust this to like 30. Still too high. That's better. So this is pretty solid for a first clearing. I think I'm just going to put a couple of rocks out here. Make it look a little nicer. That's the tall grass. Ferns. So now we have everything selected that we are going to use for the clearings. But I think this will be pretty good because let's use a character for reference. This should be pretty high. Yeah, pretty high. Might even have to remove some of it, but I don't know. It is kind of cool. That's going to take some testing before we know for sure. I'm going to cut down on the tall grass just a little bit. Make it a little bit more visible. Whoops. Kind of like little paths through here. Yeah, I'm hoping we can support a lot of them. Usually, characters are the heavier part of rendering, so it can be hard to get the count really high, but sometimes the programmers can work a little magic and make that happen. It really just depends. Okay, so I think the last ones we'll clear out are when they're bunched up around the bigger plants. We don't need them as dense right there. I'm actually selling these exact ferns on Fab. I'm kind of huge on ferns, so couldn't stop myself. That's pretty solid, so we'll make another one now. Onward. I would say we could make one over in this direction. Maybe. Probably over here. I think this would be a cool spot, kind of around this tree. Ruh-roh, Raggy. We're missing some. Oh, that's why. Yeah, 1,000 would be pretty intense. I don't think the networking would be the issue at that point. It'd be a rendering problem. Some tall grass. I'm gonna cut this down as well. In fact, let me disable it from... from popping up on other meshes. Lost where I was for a moment. Oh wait, still did. Yes, there we are. Do like 0.1. It'd be pretty cool. I think it's just really game dependent because the type of technology you use for rendering is definitely going to have an effect on how many you can have in a server. Because generally it's pretty performance intensive rendering a bunch of characters. So it kind of just depends on what kind of technology you can use for that. I actually really like the plant distribution here as it is after painting the taller grass, so I think I'll just put some rocks down. Probably not these. Yeah, that would help with anything the server itself is rendering, but not the client, which would be the main issue with having a lot of them in a higher detail game. Yeah, let's make this like... it's pretty big. It really just depends, because for example, like the character models, how detailed they are and how many bones they have would influence things like that. Or how far away they need to be drawn for specific features of the AI, things like that. That's why even with server meshing, that kind of thing, it will help, but it won't help the client render what they see on their screen. Just whatever the server is rendering. go. Let's do, actually, I don't want these in HLOD. Excellent. Okay, now I can make more. Yeah, it's pretty highly dependent on the game it's being used in. It really depends on a lot of factors on if they can use something like that. Right here. I feel it. This is the spot. Hello there. Also, my apologies, I couldn't make the stream on Thursday. I was compiling one of our testing builds for the tech demo. And compiling takes quite a while. Yeah, that would definitely affect things if they build their engine features around things like that. I'm going to put a couple of rocks in here too. I'm actually going to use the same one, but just scale it differently and rotate it. Generally, it is pretty quick to make these clearings. I just don't like them to be completely empty because it's kind of boring if you do that. Yeah, there are just a lot of variables that determine if that would be usable for you or not. There we go. And more. I'm trying to avoid putting them right next to the paths for the most part. I'll have some of them by the paths, but for the most part I'd like them to be a little further away. I would say over here. I'm kind of looking for the taller trees because I like when there's a big tree in a clearing. I think I will change some of the plants that are rendering, or that are popping up in the jungle. Because I think the tall grass is cool, but it's a little too dense in some spots, so I'll probably reduce the amount of variance of that grass. A lot of times the issue with performance is the poor documentation for Unreal, because it can perform very well. It's just many of the studios don't know how to use the new technologies because they're very poorly documented, and you have to do a ton of research into the source code and actually testing things to be able to really use things effectively. Oh, okay. Sorry, one of my kids just walked in here to grab something, and they're making a fake fire. I'm not sure. I hope it's not a real one. I'm gonna resume my life hoping that it's not a real fire. I could definitely do that. Oh, I need to get this plant out from inside of that. Yes, making an engine is just ridiculously hard. It's a ton of work. There's definitely a reason a lot of studios have switched away from doing that in recent times. It's a lot. CD Projekt Red being one of the notable ones. They did actually have a good engine. It was just, it's a lot of work to maintain. I think we'll do this next one right here in front of the rock. Yeah, I think I like it. I've held off for a little while on doing the clearings because I wanted to think about how I wanted them to look. And I think it's coming out pretty good. We'll put some of the ferns in here though because I don't use them very heavily. The ones that I made, I mean. Here they are. Oops. Fern clearing. Ha ha ha. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna toss them in little clumps around and... Oh, whoops. I need to bump up the density a little bit. Temporarily. Give me ferns. Wow, beautiful. Look at all those boys. Let's range their size a little bit more, though. Flowers would be cool. I actually think I have some that are jungle themed. Gonna look in a moment. I'm going to lose my mind seeing a Rex out here. I'm gonna be very excited about it, I'm just saying. That's insane. I just read what you said. A little bit terrifying. I'm gonna look that plant up. That's brutal. We'll do some different plants right here. Yeah, that would be ridiculous to find those. Let's see. Some plants I haven't used much yet. I think these flowers are for the trees, but let me see. Yeah, these aren't meant to go on the ground. They hang down from vines and things like that. Let me take it out and see what it looks like. Because if it'll work, then I'll do it. It does look pretty cool. We could use that. Just need to tune the wind on it. It's a little bit too much. 0.1 look like? It's pretty good. That would be just insane to see something like that. See if these use the same material. Maybe this will work if I put this... Let's see. Oh yeah. Surprisingly, it does work. They were originally made to be put on the trees. Haven't actually tried putting them on the ground, but they look good. We will use them. Which means I need to make them double-sided to match the rest. So let's pick a few. Of each kind. Yes, there are palms in the jungle here. A couple of different kinds. We're going to do this easy method. I just chose to merge it. I didn't need to do that. Oh wait, no. Duplicate. Okay. It's very good. So to make these double-sided, we're just going to duplicate it, flip the normals on one of them, and put them back together. Then we have to displace it just a little bit to keep the edges from touching each other and overlapping. Yep. Do like 0.03. Yeah, that's good. And we just do the same with these other ones. Generally pretty quick. It's a fantastic optimization too. Oh, I did forget. I'll fix it in a moment. Need to make a second material for these. Oh, it actually already has it disabled. So it doesn't need another material. What about these? Yeah, that's good too. It looks like I turned it off before and hadn't converted them yet, so I was probably planning to and didn't get around to it. As far as I know, we're not really copying anything that I know of from them. Ooh, fancy. Where's my membership? I would say one of the big benefits with ours, though, is that we lean heavy on the optimization. And that'll just keep on improving. Hey, look at that. That's pretty awesome. He just wants to steal the attention away from the map. He wants it on him. In fact, while we're focused, we should remind Islander that he needs to roar for us. Do it for the HSC gang, bro. For the people. At least he admits to it. A shameless man. Oh yes. We probably need to pick, like, a location on the map that's going to be ours. And just keep everyone out of it. We'll kill anyone who gets too close without being permitted. We don't play games. No, sir. Because once we're at a point where we just don't really need to update much anymore, and everything's working great and no big bugs to solve anything, that means I can spend a ton of time on the map, which I'm gonna do. So we need to find a place and make it ours. Yes. See, that's the right idea. Yep, I know the feeling. It's constantly fighting me. Totally not me just rushing to type. Alright, they are good to go now, so we can paint them. Won't fill it entirely with... Oh, there are two of these. Did I name one wrong? Is that what happened? I think it is. Because I don't see C. That's one. Two. Yeah, there are definitely three kinds. I wasn't paying attention. After a while, you're just kind of doing it on autopilot. So, what does C look like? That is C. I lost it. Oh, there it is. Oh, I see. There are two different... I see. They had different names. Okay. So that's A. And that is A. It's just named the wrong thing. And that one... Okay, so I think I named a couple of them wrong. It makes it easier if I can actually have the right names. Okay, so that's B. So that one is good. Yeah, sometimes I'm not paying attention when I name them, and we get in this predicament. VRIE. How strange. Okay, so that one is the only one that's the Guzmania. And those two are the other one. Hopefully I'm spelling that right. It's probably close enough. Don't feel like looking again. Whoops. So they are good to go. Oh, look at that. I did spell it right. Cool. So these can go down here. And these can go away. And these can also go here. I just heard something get delivered. I do have more trees on the way, so it could be that. We don't need to talk about my problem. Okay, so now we can paint these boys. Luckily, when it comes to disk space, small plants like this, we can go nuts because it's not really going to change much of anything to the total size of the game. It's mainly big trees that take space. Let's make these like 2 on the density and see how that does. One to 1.2. That's a vibe. No, 1.3. Because it's weird. Let's see how dense that is. Not enough. We need more. And more. Getting there, getting there. But still, that's not enough. Let's drop the distance away from each other that they need to be. It's a vibe. We'll put some other plants too, not just the flowers, but I hear thunder outside. This pleases me. I love storms. Now, if someone can just send me $1 million, my day will be completely made. I'll still be working on the game though, just because I want to. Just for the record. Let's do like small grass. Yeah, look at that. It's a vibe. Excellent. Yes. That's it, boys. We done it this time. You can see the really massive tree I put on the map from here. Yes, that feels good. So we'll put some props in here too, but foliage-wise, this is a vibe. The vibe, perhaps. Have we gone too far? I say no. More orchids. Everybody comes here to listen to the crazy guy ramble. What is he even talking about? Yes, I am speaking in third person. I think a log would be pretty cool. Let's see what this one looks like. That one does not fit the vibe check. Yes, fit it. That is for the redwoods. We might use that. And that also doesn't really look like a jungle one. Great minds think alike. We could put this in there. Oh, I forgot to check. It does not have collisions. I need to... Oh wait, actually I'm using this in the redwoods, I remember that now. But we can use this. I think we'll make it bigger too. Why, you ask? Because we can. This is our world of the horseshoe crab. This log is floating. Let's just put something under it. A couple of somethings. What does this look like? That's pretty cool. So we'll use these boys. Oh god. Ah, I'm glad I looked on the backside because I did not realize that was empty. We'll put this on the backside. Knew it. You can't hide from me. This will be partially underground. Look at that, it like holds it perfectly. I love it. What do you do for a living, son? I put logs on rocks. In fact, I think we'll put one more tree because this still feels a little bit too bare to me. This boy. We will let it be where it be. Okay. That's acceptable. But now I want one more. Oh my god. There we go. Pretty good. I like it. But now I think we'll do something a little different. It definitely is a lot of work. You're not wrong. This cliffside has been bothering me immensely. So we're going to cover it up with actual models instead of just landscape. So we're going to remove the rocks that are on it right now. I'm glad to hear it. I think you'll like it. I was excited to be working on a dinosaur game at all when I got into this project, and now I'm even more excited because it's actually good and made by people who care about what they're making. I know I'm not really a trustworthy source since I'm working on this, but I'm just saying. Okay, and before I put the big mountainsides here... Oh, I need to clear those off. Before I put the big mountain, cliffside, whatever, here, it looks like the landscape collision is a little bit off, and that can happen if there's a steep incline that suddenly goes flat, or just generally if there's a jarring angle. We're going to fix that. We just have to smooth it out a little bit. Plus, I need to fix this anyways because it's a little bit too steep. Might even have to redo this river, because I have a feeling I'm going to need to extend the sides a little bit more than I have room for right now. But that's okay, we like water simulations around these parts. And of course, when the game does come out, everyone feel free to let us know if you have any issues, things like that, because I'll be sticking around and we'll continue updating the game for a long time. I'm pretty sure everybody's planning on sticking around. So, not disappearing anywhere. Just trying to make it a little better to traverse this area. I think I am going to have to re-simulate the water, because I think I'm going to need to make this a little bit wider so I can make the taper from the ground to the stream be a little more gradual. It's often kind of hard to guess how far that needs to be when you first make these. Should be pretty good. I'll just go ahead and smooth this out a little bit just so I can make sure we fix that collision issue, because we're going to have this covered up anyways with models, so it doesn't need to look amazing under them. That will work. Hey Islander, while you're lurking about here, you should add that channel to the Discord so I can get requests for the map. Or so people can just drop in and yell at me, you know? I would. And then, the first post inside of that channel needs to be you roaring. I mean, just look at the last tag on the video right now. Ground shadow. Okay, let's put a huge cliff here. Let us defy the laws of rock. Excellent. Now everyone, if you have ideas, you can leave them there. Oh yes, that's been there for weeks. I've been waiting for somebody to notice, but nobody said anything. I think some of these sandstone cliffs would be pretty cool. We're going to change the material on them though. It is a vibe though. This cannot be denied. But don't you worry, there's plenty of secrets on the map too, not just in the tags for the video. And nobody's found them yet. Who's to say I won't move them after they're found, so that you can tell people, hey, I found this cool thing, and then it's not going to be there. Be shameful, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's not going to do it. TRF, big boys. Right there. This is when Islander's sitting there like, oh my god, I have to get this guy off the team. What is he doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. I put rocks down. And trees. That's all we need to know. How about this? What does this look like? It could be a vibe. I just love making huge cliffs. You know, when I hear people say the phrase throwing shade, I always think, what would it feel like to hold shade? Is there a physical sensation? If you're throwing it, you must be able to hold it. I need someone experienced in throwing shade to tell me. This will work. Just want to fill in this spot right here. Then I need to know, why are people lying? They are not throwing shade. But thank you for verifying this information for me. It's very important. It's been a burning question in my mind for many moons. I'm just upset that so many people would lie. There is no one throwing shade. That's today's lesson. Let's see, how about this? Ah yes, more rock. It's true. And the best part about doing this is we're only using a few different meshes for it, and since they're all using the same material, the material all gets drawn in one call. The glories of nanite. I'm just glad we have Justin here dropping the facts. We can now rest easy, knowing that shadows do not have mass. That we have uncovered the lies. almost have it done. This has been an eyesore for a while, and every time I think about doing it, I get stopped by something else. So I just haven't done it yet. But now here we are. Finally righting the wrongs. I would say, I guess let's just fill in that little part there, but otherwise it's pretty solid. Literally, because rocks. We done it. And every one of them is using the same material. That is one efficient mountain. So now we're going to pack it into a packed level actor and make it even more efficient. There we are. And we do need this in HLODs. Whoops. Oh, there it is. Boom. One actor. With that glorious instancing. Excellent. Did I just see some duplicates up here, though? If that's the case, we need to fix it. There are duplicates. I knew it. Of several things. There was a issue I had recently with syncing my changes, and this happened in a couple of spots, so I have to fix it when I come across it. So what we need to do, that view mode shows us what's being instanced together. It also makes it easy to spot if you have two things overlapping each other. So if there's a lot of them, I'll generally just wipe it all out and redo it. But it looks like it's only a small area here. Actually, I see it in multiple spots. I think I'll have to come back later today and do this. Gonna have to wipe out a little of it and repaint it. So, we'll continue smoothing this. And after we get more of this smoothed out, then we'll go ahead and stop the stream. Just want to make sure that you can easily get out of streams, but it also needs to be deep. So that's why I think we're going to extend the sides of this a little bit. Not today, but probably on Thursday we'll do that. I can just hold off till then because I think people would enjoy watching the water simulation. So this will make it a tiny bit less deep, but it's pretty deep, so shouldn't be an issue. That's the great thing about the water simulations. I never complain when I have to redo it. It's too much fun. Behold landscape, I'm your creator. Yay for saving the landscape. I just want to say I have Shake It Off by Taylor Swift stuck in my head right now. My oldest daughter has been playing it all day on the little Google Home downstairs. So now I can't get it out of my head. Alright, so we got it done. And I think on Thursday we're probably going to resimulate this river and smooth out the edges here to make it a bit nicer to actually walk into and out of. Oh yes, Swifty. So we'll go ahead and stop here, and on Thursday I'll be back. I've been doing the streams a little later in the day, so around the time this one started is when that one will start as well. So I hope to see you all there again, and thank you for watching.